Hello, I'm Shri, and you are watching RedIn Original Presents Injustice, where we talk about cases in which, in the name of justice, what people actually received was only injustice. Before you start the video, today's story is about Brad Waldroup and his wife, Penny Waldroup. Penny and Brad started dating when they were teenagers, and after some time, Penny got pregnant. And because of this, Penny and Brad decided to get married. After marriage, they had three more children. And the couple decided to raise all four of them in the rural part of Tennessee. Their children described Penny as a loving mother, but they cannot say the same about their father because Brad Waldroup was a very controlling and abusive person. Because of this, Penny spent most of her time with her childhood friend, and she often took her children to her friend's house too. Her best friend's name was Leslie, and she also had five children. So whenever Penny went to Leslie's house, she also helped her take care of her children. Leslie's house became a very safe place for Penny because everyone knew Brad was controlling and he made rules which Penny has to follow, but no one knew how actually controlling and abusive he really was. And Penny knew how toxic that relationship was, and she wanted to leave, but she did not know how she will manage everything, raise four kids alone. They have been together since they were teenagers, and it was extremely difficult for her to leave him. But day by day, situations got worse and worse. Now Brad's drinking habit and aggression was kept increasing. And because of all that, finally, Penny gathered the courage and filed the divorce against him. After the divorce filing, Brad moved out to his grandmother's house, which he had. Even though Penny filed for divorce, but the custody of children was shared, so she still had to take her children to Brad's house. Also, she wanted her children to maintain a good relationship with their father. But after the divorce, Brad has already given Penny many threats. So she was really scared to go there, but she did not have any choice. So she told this to Leslie. When she told this to Leslie, Leslie said there is no way she is letting her go alone. She is going with her no matter what. But as I mentioned earlier, she had five children of her own too. So she called her friend and told her to take care of her children until they come back. And also because they were really scared, three of them made one plan. They told her friend that they will call her after crossing the highway and before the network disappears. Because Brad lived in a Kimchi mountain where there was no signal, no network there. So that's why they decided after that call, she should wait half an hour to 1 hour. If they don't call her back after that, she should immediately call the police. Penny already had really bad feeling about going there. She did not had any other choice, so she had to drop her kids to his house. And after leaving, they followed the exact plan. They decided if they did not call around 7:30, she should immediately call the police. When they reached Fred's house, all four children got out of the car, picked their bags, and took their things inside the house. And suddenly Fred came out with a rifle in his hand. He was drunk and extremely angry. He told Penny to come out of her car. Before they could leave, he took the car keys. But Leslie did not let Penny get out of the car. Instead, Leslie herself got out of the car and told Brad to let them go. Brad became very angry and he accused Leslie that it was because of her that Penny decided to leave him. He blamed her for everything. At that moment, Penny and Brad's son, Eliza, was watching from the window, and suddenly he saw his own father firing a gunshot at Leslie. Seeing this, Penny immediately got out of her car to help her friend. He did not stop shooting her. He shot Leslie 8 times, and she was dead on the spot. And after seeing that, Penny tried to run away. But when she ran, Fred fired at her from behind. And the most sad part was all of this happening in front of their own children, who were watching all of this from inside the house. And because of the gunshot, Penny fell on the ground. After that, he chased her, dragged her towards the area of his house, and then he struck her with a knife. At this point, Penny begged for her life, but he did not stop. He continued hurting her. When the knife did not cut as deep as he wanted, he went inside the house and he came out with a machete knife. He also then dragged her to Leslie's dead body and he started hacking her neck and her head. He also cut Penny's pinky finger. At this point, children were crying and screaming, but it did not affect Brad at all. Brad then forced Penny inside the house. At this point, Penny was badly injured. She was losing a lot of blood. And when they were inside, he also told their children to say goodbye to their mother because this is the last time they are ever gonna see her. Meanwhile, the friend who was supposed to receive their call did not receive it, and just like they planned, she immediately called the police. Then she told police about everything. But police said they could not go to someone's house without any reason or without a protection order. But their friend kept calling police again and again after every 15 minutes. But police were giving the same answer that they could not do anything about that because there is no proof or there is no evidence that they are in danger. Not getting a call for an hour was not enough reason. At the same time, Brad kept talking to Penny. He was saying strange things to her. At this point, Penny tried to calm him down, told him that everything could still be fixed. She was really trying to calm him down so that she could survive. But because of the injuries and blood loss, she eventually lost consciousness. When she woke up again, Brad was standing in front of her and was laughing at her condition. He said he wanted her to suffer and die slowly. He even said he had planned to keep her alive for a whole weekend so he could torture her for 2 days and then kill her. And at this point, he forced her to go to bathroom and clean herself so he could have sex with her. Because Penny refused to do what he said, he became very angry and tried to force himself on her. Penny was too injured to fight back, but by God's grace, he heard police siren and he let Penny go. The police were only sent to basic check. Only one police officer arrived. Penny used that moment to run outside. When the officer saw her, he was shocked because he did not expect this serious situation. He immediately called for backup and asked for medical help. After that, Brad came outside and he did not did anything. He just surrendered to the police. Soon backup and an emergency ambulance arrived. Penny was taken to the hospital and her condition was very critical because she had suffered many injuries. By some miracle, Penny did survive. In the investigation, they found the rifle used in attack, a knife, a machete, a shovel, blood in the yard and nearly woods, empty bullet casing, signs showing that Penny tried to run up hills to escape. All this proved that this was not a quick moment of anger, but a long, violent attack, which continued for a long time. Brad Waldroup was arrested immediately, and he did confess that he did all of this. But later his lawyer presented a defense. They said he was heavily drunk. He lost control of himself. Everything happened suddenly in anger. However, the investigator believed that not an accident. Before the trial, prosecutor charged him with first-degree murder for Leslie's death, attempted first-degree murder for attacking Penny, escaping aggravated kidnapping, other violent felony charges. If proven guilty, he could receive life in prison or death sentence. The trial started after 2 years in August 2008 in Polk County, Tennessee. The prosecution said He brought the rifle with him. He fired multiple times, not once. He chased Penny after shooting her. He used more than one weapon. He continued attacking her after she was badly injured and helpless. They argued that this shows the attack was planned and done with intent, not something that happened suddenly. After that, Penny herself testified in court. She told the jury, Brad shot Leslie many times. When Penny tried to run, he shot her too. After she fell, he kept attacking her. She pretended to be dead so he would stop. Her testimony strongly suggested that this was first-degree murder. Investigators also testified, and their statements supported the same conclusion. Doctors also spoke in court. Medical experts said that the injuries showed a long and brutal attack, not a sudden fight. This again supported first-degree murder charges. And then comes a defense argument. The defense did something very unusual. They did not say Red did not did it. Instead, they argued that he was not fully in control of his actions. They said he was affected by emotional breakdown, alcohol, medication side effects, genetic factors. Their goal was to reduce punishment as much as possible. The defense said Brad was taking medication named Chantix, and they claimed that side effects of the medicine can include extreme anger, violent behavior, loss of control. Experts also testified this in court. This was one of the first cases where genetics was used as a defense argument. So it became very controversial, but it was allowed in court. The second argument became the most talked about part of the case. The defense said Brad had a low activity MAOA gene, sometimes called the warrior gene. Research suggests that people with this gene may have strong reactions to stress, impulsive aggression, difficulty controlling anger. They also said Brad had a difficult childhood, emotional stress, alcohol use, medication effect, genetic risk factor. Because of this, they argued that he lost control and the crime was not planned. If the jury believed this, the charges could be reduced from first-degree murder to lesser crime. Prosecution response. The prosecution replied, many people have these genes, but they do not commit crimes. He had time to stop. He used multiple weapons. He chased the victim. He continued attacking her for a long time after she was helpless. They said this shows intent, not genetics. Now the jury had to decide, was this a planned murder or did he lose control in rage? This decision would decide, was this a first-degree murder or a lesser charge? And the defense only needed to create doubt about intent, and they did. After hearing all the arguments, the jury had to decide whether this was planned murder or a crime done in loss of control. The final decision shocked many people. The jury found Brad Waldroup not guilty for first-degree murder, not guilty of attempting first-degree murder, guilty of voluntary manslaughter, for which he got 6 years sentence, guilty of attempted second-degree murder, for which he got 12 years sentence, guilty of especially aggravated kidnapping, for which he got 30 years sentence. So in total, he got 31 years in prison with possibility of parole. This verdict shocked many people because the evidence, the witness statements, and medical report, everything suggested to first-degree murder, not second-degree murder. This verdict became very controversial. The defense created enough doubts to reduce the charges. For many people, this decision did not feel like justice. This case feels like a clear example of how the legal system does not always give the expected results. There was strong evidence, and the victim herself survived and told the whole story herself. Still, the final punishment was less than what many people expected. Another shocking fact is that Brad Waldroup became eligible for release after serving part of his sentence. Report says he could be released around May 2026. After everything that happened, he may walk free in just 2 months. Penny was given a lifetime protection order against him. But the question still remains, is that enough? Even if he never contacts Penny again, what about the people he will meet in future? That's why many people call this case a true example of injustice. This was Penny Waldroup case. Was this a right verdict or a clear case of injustice?